like you have free trade zones. There is free trade zones in Calabar. There's a free trade zones in Olokola. But the free trade zone in Lagos is up and running. That's where Dangote is. That's why the seaport is. That's where a lot of companies are there. And this is the most advanced port in the whole of Africa. And it is privately built. The government just gave leadership, vision, and the space. So it's a build and transfer project.
Oh, that build, operate, and transfer.
Yes, build, operate, and transfer. So it's owned by individuals who raised the 1.5 billion to do that project. All Nigerians should be proud of what they've achieved there because that's the best seaport when it comes to telecology in the North Africa.
You know, this is a milestone.
Yes, it is. And I was reading about the ports. It makes me extremely happy because I know that this is just the beginning and the future is quite bright. Look at what the Minister of Aviation was saying about the airport that is coming to this same corridor. You know, how it will benefit people, even right up to Ijebu-Ode.
Ijebu-Ode, yes.
When you have that airport.
You don't need to come to
people, yes, they don't need to land there.
Cross the third line again.
They will go and land there. If you are living in Lekki, you are living in Aja, you will escape all of the traffic gridlock on the mainland. You will land there. If you are in even in Ijebu-Ode, if you don't want to use the new road that Prince Dapo Abiodun has constructed to link Ekpe to the Ijebu area, you can still, I mean, you land in Lekki and then use that road. That was the point I wanted to make. And your journey will be short. You don't need to land in Ikeja and then go through the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, you know. So it will make life so more meaningful to people. The stress will be reduced. All I want to see is for new roads to be constructed in this area because we've been warning so that it doesn't become like another Apapa. Because by the time Dangote refinery officially opens, a lot of traffic will be heading in that side.
But they did the road already.
Huh?
They finished from that junction, Elekon junction,
to
Ekpe. Is one of the roads that the president will commission. What is remaining is Ekpe to Lekki.
Alternative routes is what you are
yes, because I'm talking about those alternative routes. There are supposed to be 3.
Yeah.
The governor of Lagos State told us that they were planning 3 roads that time, and that the Dangote the company was going to build one of those roads. It means with this port, if you have no business coming into, you are coming from Ondo State.
No, there's a road to Ondo State from Dangote.
Yeah.
That is ongoing now.
Yes,
there's a road
the governor said 3 roads. That they were planning 3 roads.
Yes.
You know that they were planning 3 roads. That one of them will be constructed by Dangote. Maybe that's the one that I'm talking about, is constructing that one. So that if people want to come to do business in Dangote's refinery or his fertilizer company or this port, they don't need to come through Lagos. I mean, through Lagos mainland. They can pass through Ogun State and then get into that axis.
Yeah.
So that you decongest the main,
yes,
because right now
the only single Lekki.
Yes, that's just that main road leading to that area.
To Lekki.
So all those tankers that are not from Lagos will not need to pass.
They don't need to get into Lagos. That's why they
finish that road now from Eleko to Ekpe. So you just coming from Ogun, enter that Ogun, enter Ekpe. Then from Ekpe is 8 lanes with 2 other lanes. That is like a 10-lane thing. Then you just pass from there to Eleko and you go to the refinery.
So they don't need to come into
Lagos. They don't need to come to Lekki Expressway.
How would that help the situation in presently on Tinkana land and this are off?
It depends. If you are from the east, for example, and you want to do business, you don't have to use this port. Through Ogun State, you eat what's this J5 area?
Yes.
You know, you are going from that place. You are going. You are going to the east. Yes, you are going to the east. So you don't need to come to this area.
Okay.
You know, so they don't need to use this port. They can use this new port. It makes life.
But it won't even affect the port because the port in Apapa now cannot cope with the volume of.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So it will decongest the place and makes life better for everybody.
And if they dredge the Onitsha port, for example, if they dredge it sufficiently, that's another port that people in the east can use.
Yeah.
But except that up to now it's not really.
But they did that in Calabar.
It's not really functioning.
They did it in Onitsha. It didn't work. I don't know why.
I think that of Calabar would probably have worked if Donald Duke had remained in office for some time because he had that vision. So this port is something that really gets me excited. I was reading that we can handle, one of the terminals can handle 2.5 million 20-foot standard containers per year. A lot of our ports are there, but they are just not being used. Remember the demand that the southern governors made sometime last year.
Yeah.
That look, we need to build these new ports. The ones that were there that had been abandoned, we should upgrade them and make them useful. Even the governor of Ondo State wanted to build a port in Araromi because the deepest point, the Atlantic, the deepest point in the Atlantic in our country is in that Araromi. And Araromi to Lekki is less than 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But the funding for that kind of project is big. Without federal government support, there's no way a state like Ogun State.
But they can look for federal government. They didn't have one couple in this, and they were able to put it together. 1.5 billion. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
This port will really stimulate greater business in the Lagos area, and the Dangote refinery will benefit tremendously from this.
In terms of employment, you can imagine Dangote refinery and the port,
yes.
The quantum of employment.
But you have to add other companies, Kellogg's. There's so many companies there that are operating already. So we should look at, because that's why I said that it is important for us to have leaders with vision. What you need is vision.
Projects.
Then people can now execute that vision. Atlantic Ocean was giving us problems every time. We were spending money every year, and it was eating deep to the roads and was threatening the properties in Victoria Island. Today, that's the most expensive land space in the whole of Nigeria. It's the vision of somebody.
Nobody will remember that.
Yes.
We even had that problem.
Yes.
It's a vision of somebody that.
Yes, it was coming. It was.
Yes, that we can conquer this Atlantic Ocean. Everybody said it was impossible, but they did it because somebody just remembered that Holland is below sea level, and they're doing very well.
They're coping,
and they use the same concept there, and there is a city there already now. City.
Look at the skyscrapers springing up.
Yes,
no, big city.
You know, somebody looked at the pictures that Bola Ahmed Tinubu's cameraman released on TVC Breakfast, and he said, it's important to keep some of these pictures. The way we should used to look, the way even Mushin, you know, some parts of Mushin,
that road was dualized.
When you now compare what used to be, even when I first got to Lagos in 1999, the
the first time you got to Lagos?
No, to work here.
Okay.
You know, the refuse
in Lagos.
Some of the refuse were the height of a skyscraper.
True.
I remember one refuse dump around this market, not far from what is it called? This bridge, Kata Bridge. It was the height of the bridge.
Yeah.
It was the height of the bridge.
Everywhere.
Yes. In front of my office, then, PM News, where you now have suicide station in Ogba, there used to be a refuse that was really assailing our nostrils. We could barely breathe.
Same thing,
big one,
yes.
big refuse. I'm not always on the dump side. I'm talking about refuse dumps littering the landscape.
I remember that one president said Lagos was the dirtiest city or something.
High-rising refuse dumps. Suddenly, the idea of PSP came. PSP, and what we now have are litters, not those high-rising refuse all over Lagos anymore. So today, Loma, many people have copied Loma. They copied LASMA.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everybody copying, coming up with that.
Look at the concept of what Lamata is doing.
And strive to get access to scarce new Naira notes amidst hardship and frustration. A Nigerian celebrity was shown on social media spraying and stepping on the scarce Naira notes at a party, and now the EFCC has taken up the matter. The anti-graft agency has commenced investigation of Oluwadarasimi Omosheyin. She is an actress and a cosmetologist for allegedly tampering with the redesigned Naira notes. And that's an offense contrary to sections 21.5 of the CBN Act 2007. Omosheyin was earlier arrested by operatives of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses, ICPC, on February 1st, 2023, for offering new Naira notes for sale on the social media. Today, these are interesting times for us.
Yes, I think the behavior of this girl is bang out of order. You can't, in one breath, be telling people that you have new Naira notes to sell. That's bad enough. Then you've gone further to also do a party and be seen not just praying, but people stepping on the currency.
Dancing on the
we can't be diminishing our currency like this. You see, elsewhere, you see people, they will not mutilate their currency. They will not squeeze their currency. They have wallets.
Yes, line the thing. Yeah.
Look at the dollar. When anybody gives you the dollar, you are excited. You are excited not just because of the weight that currency carries. It's not as if it's heavier than the way. When I talk about the weight, the value of the currency, you know, the strongest currency in terms of its own acclaim globally. But you hardly see a dollar note that is mutilated, that is Lewa going has used her dirty fingers that she has used to
soil.
To soil. We give it that regard. They give that currency that regard. Nigerians give the currency the regard that they don't give their own currency.
Yeah.
Now, so why should people spray money and then be stepping on it? CBN even says spraying of money is a bad thing.
Talk less.
Yes, but it's still possible to even commit an offense, you know, in a decent manner. Because when you go to a party and fail to spray people money, there are different ways. You can even, some of them can remove their headgear and just put it in their front like
and
this.
You pour the thing.
People like Chris, who are party goers, they know what I'm talking about. They just, the women will just, they just stretch their headgear. So
and you dump.
They will be dumping the money because they don't want to go to jail. You know, they know that people are filming. There was a party that one of us here organized the other day. I saw how she carried the thing. She was happy to be sprayed, but she dignified the currency. know that people will be stepping on the money that people are looking for like crazy. You are stepping on it. You are now telling people that you even have to sell. I mean, that's sheer stupidity. It makes no sense to do this thing. People shouldn't be behaving like there's no law in our country anymore, that they can do anything. Look at the woman who the other day shared petrol at the party.
At the party.
She had to be confronted by the law.
Do you know?
I know that that one will not try that again.
I fought to rationalize that.
No, that's how Nigerians behave. People, until they are confronted by the law, people believe that they can get away with anything. In this country, during the COVID season, when they said stay anything after 10 p.m., stay
indoors.
People were going to nightclubs, and partying overnight. Some of them were Nigerians who came from abroad. They know that they dare not do that in the UK. They will go to jail. But in our country, people think, the laws are there to be broken. So that's why I have no pity for this girl. And until people like her are made examples of, they will not stop this thing. We are the ones who behave like this. Even some of our people, including 419ers, when they make a little money over there in the US, you see them spraying dollar, stepping on it.
Yeah.
It is one part of our culture that we need to do a rethink about. Unless this law,
except that,
unless this law is more punitive, honestly, this thing will not stop.
Except that Chris comes from a part of the country that does not believe in spraying like that. They stone you with it.
No, the thing is, these people were the first to even invent a gun.
That will shoot.
The gun that fires the currency at you. He knows I'm saying the truth.
Really?
His own people invented the gun. So you see the money just coming out like that.
We had to do invest in non-Ishaba.
You are better than the rest of us in technology.
No, Chris,
okay, you are telling me. You're telling us where it happened.
Chris, but a national currency is a treasure. Yeah. Except in Nigeria.
Yes, it's
a national, because this same naira, the dollar was chasing the naira in the 70s, if you remember.
Yes.
We have bastardized the naira.
It is. Citizen, the fact is that we need to, as a graduate of law, we need to put some of these things to test. We've compromised so much on our values, on our laws, and some of the things that we believe is right, which is wrong. We're always copying the wrong thing. That the CBN Act 21 sub 5 said that nobody, for whatever reason, should be seen to be mutilating. But let me shock you. Are you talking of, is the police that we arrest? Jide was talking, is it police that arrest? Jide, you've forgotten that at those parties, most of these people are escorted by policemen.
Yes.
The police even help them to carry the bag and be helping them to bring out the money to spray and throw at people. Police. You've seen as we are spraying, some policemen are picking their own. So you ask yourself, so you ask yourself, and those, in fact, the instances is talking about, now the instances when that is happening, you see them say, release one shot. They release one shot. You know, you didn't know what I'm talking about. You hear boom, boom.
So that was how a groom killed himself.
Yes.
On his wedding day.
Let me tell you, for that, each of those boom, they release, there's an amount for that shot. You don't, really? Yeah, of course.
It's popular
now.
In the East.
I didn't say no. I didn't. No.
I'm also from the old East.
No, but that's where you come from. There's only one.
From the East. That's why I'm holding back.
So hold your
There's only a culture. There's only a culture that came up with the word Owambe that has now circulated even within the Southeast.
Yeah. You borrowed it.
So now we are only borrowing. When it comes to party, you cannot. Yeah. There's no way Jide's brothers and sisters can. We cannot.
Right, so essentially, we must protect
it is a
the naira.
No, what I want is to make sure that the central bank, not only the central bank, the IG of police has given a directive during the week. And in fact, when it was posted, people are just laughing at what IG. Let the police, let the IG live to his words. Because the protection of that currency is not just the job of the CBN.
No, they don't.
The CBI has no power of arrest.
They don't have the people to.
They don't have the people to do it. The only people that can do it are security agencies, not just the police, the civil defense, and the other relevant agencies, and all the rest of them. If they can be able to back the central bank on, look at the notes that we cannot see, the new ones that we cannot see. But they're spraying everywhere.
We are not suffering for lack of laws. There are laws, enough laws.
Implementation has always been a problem.
Thank goodness you are a lawman now.
As Nigeria gets more accolades on the international scene, talented singer Tems has set a new record for Nigerian music at the 65th edition of the prestigious Grammy Awards. The singer backed a Grammy Award in the Best Melodic Rap Performance category, and her vocal and writing contribution on the smash hits Wait For You, featuring Drake and herself. It's her first Grammy Award win after 4 nominations and the first home-based female Nigeria Grammy winner. Marvin, you have to put that, first home-based female.
First and foremost,
congratulations, Marvin.
It's a thing of joy to see how far Afrobeat has come. You know, many years ago, it was just like a joke. You know, when the Two-Face and Remedies and the likes, we were seeing Grammy as something that was so far off, you know, that we never imagined we were ever going to be getting it this soon. So seeing Nigerians getting it back to back to back, you know, imagine Burna Boy and herself being nominated, and then Whiskey and Burna Boy again. So for Tems, I'm really happy for Tems, because knowing how she started, you know, this is one artist that at one point it felt like no record label in Nigeria wanted to sign her because they felt her sound was very different, you know, and then she started doing things herself, you know, and all of that. You know, and then thanks to the smash hit Essence with Wizkid, that kind of like just elevated her, put her on that platform, you know, where everybody got to see her. So I'm really, really excited for her that she was able to win this, you know.
Julie, what is it about Nigerian music? President Barack Obama actually put Burna Boy on his playlists last year, and everywhere you go in the world. I was in Dallas, and the first 3 hit songs they were playing everywhere. You think you are in Nigeria?
Yes, in those days, even here in our country, at parties, American R&B, R&B hits that they will be playing, you know, and they were also fond of playing old tunes, again foreign.
Yes.
But today, things have changed. The last time I traveled to Ghana was when I saw that change had indeed come. Because in the hotel where we were lodged, just beside the home of their former president, the one that died recently, Kufo, they were playing Nigerian songs back to back. And I'm like, so Ghanaians love Nigerian songs like this. But we've been able to take Afrobeat to the world stage, and Nigerian artists are doing collaborations with some of the best artists in the world, you know, and this is making them all the more acceptable on a global plane. Because you see Wizkid doing collabos with big artists, you see Burna Boy doing collabos, you see even artists not as big as they are, able to do collabos. This guy, the former boyfriend of Rihanna.
Rick?
No, the one that went to jail because of Rihanna. What's her name? What's his name again? The one, you know, Mona Lisa, now that the collaboration for Mona Lisa. Chris Brown.
Oh, Brown.
Chris Brown. You know, I was surprised that Chris Brown and that artist, not particularly famous, but the sound was good enough for a Chris Brown to agree to feature on it. That's the point that I'm making. Our music is now of international standard, and
it is.
Look, people may say all kinds of nasty things about Nigeria because we too, we let ourselves down by some of the nasty things we do. But these young people are people in the IT, are people in entertainment, young people You know, they are making our country proud, and Nigeria needs to invest more, because clearly now that is an area where we can even earn a lot of foreign exchange. There was a time when ABBA musical group was bringing the greatest foreign exchange into Sweden, even higher than Volvo, the Volvo automobile company. You know, it's from Sweden. They were earning more foreign exchange than Volvo. So that's to tell you that music can actually be a big foreign exchange earner for our country if we give these guys all that they need, make the environment conducive for them.
Marvin, you've been in this industry for a while now, and the evolution of Nigerian artists. Did you see this coming?
So with the aggression that people like, to be fair to the likes of Two-Face, the band, these guys actually did pave the way, but the guys now,
as far back as 2010, the band did a collaboration with Snoop Dogg.
Snoop, and then Two-Face at one time even tried to do something with R. Kelly, even though some people felt okay, they weren't together in the studio. But we started seeing the push. I think the band was one of those guys that started pushing, to get out of Africa. So they felt, okay, we've conquered Africa.
Foreign music label.
You understand? We've conquered Africa. We need to go, further. He tried, with Oliver Twist. Oliver Twist did break into especially the British market, and that started opening up. And then I think Wizkid followed, broke into the British market. But America was now the problem. For Nigerian artists to bring into the US was a big issue. Until I think Davido tried it with Fall and If. He just played around with it, and then Essence came and broke into the world chart, and then now Thames. And then interestingly, the song that Thames got nominated for was our original song that was sampled by Future and Drake. So they picked a song that she released in 2020. Our own song that she wrote. She wasn't even on this song, but because they sampled her song, that's why she's getting all of this credit for it. And she deserves it. She's a fantastic songwriter.
Jide, O2 Center is not a big deal to our artists now. If you go to Madison Square Garden, you go to any big place in the United States, right now, Burna Boy is shutting down everywhere in the United States.
I think even Wizkid can sell out any arena.
We did O2 Center. That's why
he's doing. That's the
point. Yes, that's the point. When you said Burna Boy, I believe that Wizkid can sell out any arena. He's that big. He's that big. He's that the respect that he has is tremendous. You can't quantify it. And I can say a lot of artists have also been influenced by Wizkid. Here was a boy who won a talent hunt competition as a little boy, and see how he has grown. I was watching Rema play in Holland, I think Rotterdam. The moment he invited Wizkid to come on stage, if you see the ovation, that's to tell you how big.
There's this spirit behind that Afrobeat music. When they start the soundtrack for Oju Elegba,
that's to tell you
so big.
That's to tell you how big Wizkid is.
Yes.
Wizkid is a Nigerian export to the world, a very big Nigerian export to the world. You can see him; he's not got a big body, but that is a tremendous artist, and so many artists have actually taken after him, and we are seeing the result all over the world. Everyone talks about Nigerian music.
Marvin, in terms of competition, just look at the last World Cup. We had Davido that played in the finals inside the arena.
I was just saying now that Wizkid this year is having his show at the Tottenham Stadium. He's already started selling tickets, and he's hoping to sell out. Tottenham Stadium is about 60,000 capacity. Burna Boy is having his show this year at the London Stadium. So these guys have felt, okay, we're not just conquering the world now. We are going out now. We want to conquer even where your guys cannot even conquer. And I can tell you for a fact, Wizkid, Burna Boy, Davido, they are far bigger than a lot of the big British artists that you know, how many of them can sell, you know, even the O2, let alone a stadium? You know, Wizkid did this back to back to back to back. Even Ashake thought he was small and wanted to do his show at a smaller venue. And unfortunately, it didn't work, you know, and then that was when he realized that, oh, I think I was even, you know, undermining myself, you know. So right now in Africa, I think every other African
how many download did Kiss Daniel record the other day? I think up to 12 million for
and again, they're making the money now because unlike those days when it used to be Alaba to decide how much they get for their album.
Would their fates.
Now it is strictly Apple Music, it's strictly Spotify, you know, and all of these guys. So they're making their money directly. And that's back to what he talked about, you know, Forex coming back to Nigeria. Now Apple Music, these guys are making so much money from YouTube.
So we've left the era of
streaming
CDs and everything.
They don't even do all of
so
that.
The number of download you have and everything, you make your money there.
It's so easy now, you know, and I'm just excited. You know, looking at the Premier League, like what you're saying, scattered with Nigerians now. Yes. You know, almost all the big teams.
Even in the, you know, some of these English teams, when they win and they are celebrating in their locker room, it's Nigerian music that they are playing. I was shocked. And look at people like even Pogba, Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
He sings Nigerian
Exactly.
Nigerian music effortlessly, and you see when they are jubilating, it's still that what they are playing. I think I saw Rudiger when he was in Chelsea. They won a game. They were playing Nigerian music. You know, so this music has gone beyond where some of us would ever have imagined.
Not forgetting the family that started it all, the Kutis. If Femi and Sheon, if they have any show in France today, I don't know what it is about the Kutis and France. they worship them.
They are the pioneers, you know, of Afrobeat. Fela basically, you know, started all of this. And I like the fact that everybody gives him that regard. You know, Two-Face will say Fela back. If you go to his Snapchat, he refers himself as Fela back. You know, that's Fela is back. You know, Burna Boy still sees himself as the next Fela. So they're all giving him that respect. You know, like you paved the way, would always, you know, respect you and honor your legacy. Yes, I'll definitely give it to that family. I think they've, still over the years, they've held it down. I still believe Femi Kuti should have gotten a Grammy.
Yeah, he's been nominated. He's been nominated like twice.
Times, you know, I think at some point he got tired. He should have gotten a Grammy.
Even Umade, his son, has been nominated.
You know, so I don't know why Femi didn't get a Grammy. Femi deserved to get a Grammy. Yeah, we can argue Sheon, as fantastic as Sheon is, his sound is really kind of restricted. But Femi Kuti cut across everything. His song can be Afrobeat, his song can even be, you know, he should have gotten a Grammy. I think that's one person that the Grammy didn't really do well, you know, but good enough, they've come around.
Even the likes of KSA, in the days, they've been nominated for Grammy.
Well, Grammy, there are many artists that you ask yourself, why have they not won the Globe? Why have they not won Grammy? It's difficult for us to pinpoint why a Femi will not win a Grammy, for example, because even Bang 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 back then was extremely popular. And he is not also just a fantastic band leader, but a fantastic instrumentalist. And you are looking at a total musician.
Stage artist.
Yeah. Total musician with stagecraft, with ability to play all kinds of instruments, including wind instruments. So, well, there are riddles that we will never be able to crack about Grammy, you know. But let's just celebrate our guys who are doing well, and the fact that Thames can win this, you know, I used to see as simply as Wizkid's protege, because Wizkid brought her under his wings, you know. Now Wizkid has won something, and Thames too has won literally the same thing. So it means that the future is bright, not just for these ones, but for some of those who are coming behind them.
We've broken the glass. Broken
It
the
is.
ceiling.
It's been shattered completely.
Yeah.
So
What
an
next?
easy
What
fix.
next?
It's just for the industry now to grow. It's just for the relevant bodies. It's just for people to now start seeing, or maybe government. I don't like
And
to use the
government to
word government,
invest
but
into-
Nigeria needs to start paying attention to this side of the country that's really doing well. Music and entertainment is doing really well. And then the funny thing is, these guys carried this all by themselves.
Yes.
Without any support,
encouragement.
without any help. Some of them with their own money or with friends' money. You understand? So it is time now for government to really sit down and say, this is good, this would be lucrative, and this would help the economy, and it will also help the younger ones. Because there are a lot of people. Nigeria is so talented. I don't think any other country can keep up, especially in Africa.
Even these guys we're talking about, the commotion they cause in African countries.
Crazy.
If you see the likes of the Peace Squares, if they go to the stadium in Liberia,
Till tomorrow.
lock it down. Stampede everywhere, Sierra Leone,
Yes.
everywhere.
And-
South
and
Africa. problem.
Unfortunately, it's like they came a little too early.
Earlier.
Peace Square, when they went to Burkina Faso, they were received at the airport by the president of that country. And they took a ride in the president's car. When I saw Peace Square perform in Cameroon, I said, what? This is Nigerian musical group, this popular in Cameroon?
Lock it down.
You know?
Anywhere.
So I wish that the Peace Square twins hit the scene about this time. They would have been extremely rich, you know, because the world now is interested in Nigerian music, Nigerian sound, as some of them call it, and our artists are respected everywhere. Did you see this song by Marvin's?
Maybe.
Yes, the Maven's group.
Korea.
Okay.
The one that is released recently. I'm trying to.
Wonder More.
No, not the last. The one before Wonder More.
Okay.
The one before Wonder More, and it's a song that I sing a lot. But you know,
No.
no.
Okay.
Well, the one led by Crayon.
Yeah.
You know, that's so. In a Ghanaian school, in a Ghanaian secondary school, they were singing that song, and I'm like, the students. So it's like on the assembly ground. It was that song that they were singing, and the same dancing that you saw Crayon, Ladipo, and the rest of them. They were just singing. I said, so this song is already popular in Ghana. You know, not long after it was released. That's to tell you that our people will dominate
Today we have to leave
this
it
song
there.
for so long.
To tell you that we'll still have time to catch up in spite of politics. Maybe not
Absolutely.
the GM or Max FM.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
I'm
having
seeing you on
me.
the show for the
Appreciate
first
it.
time.
Thank you
I'm
so
sure
much.
we'll win more Grammys and we come to
Most definitely.
to
We're
talk
on the
about
right
it.
path.
All right.
The future of this republic is in the hands of the Nigerian voter. This is why all 18 presidential candidates staked their claims to the presidency at the just concluded elections. Defeated candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Gregory Obi, broke down, I should say, but vowed to prove he won the election and would head to the court to show it. But ahead of the March 11 governorship polls, Senate President Ahmed Lawan has tasked the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to abide by the Constitution and the Electoral Act 2022. It is not opinion polls that determine the outcome of elections. It's only votes and the ballot box based on laid down laws. Jide.
Yes. You can't win the election on paper. You have to win the election on the feet. And the election has been fought and won. It's as simple as that. Peter Obi says he won the election. But he didn't even come second in the election. He has a mountain to. It's up to him where he can find the facts to show that he indeed won the election. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as far as evidence can go, as far as the collation and announcement of result by INEC can go, has been returned elected after a well-fought battle. We predicted that it will be a close contest. It won't be like what happened in previous years. In 2011, not only had the popular vote, but also had 25% in 34 states. This time around, none of the candidates was able to get 34 states to score 25% and above in 34 states. No one. Neither Obi nor Atiku scored 25% in 24 states. Neither of them. So it's difficult to say that they have valid grounds to say that they won the election. Facts are what they are. Obi can weep as much as he wants, but it will not validate the fact that he was defeated in this election. Obi reminds me of President Buhari in those days when he would claim that, oh, I was rigged out. But President Buhari never won any state outside of the core north. And you can't be president of Nigeria until you are able to win elections
at least
across the
length and breadth
6 geopolitical zones of our country. You won't be elected. You can do all the huffing and puffing. It won't change anything. What the framers of the Constitution got right is the stipulation that you must have 25% in 24 states. That will show that you have considerable support across the length and breadth of our country.
The FCT election don't count much.
No, the FCT is viewed. There have been 2 court cases.
Okay.
One decided by the Supreme Court, showing that you do not have to win the FCT to be elected. If you score the mandatory 25% in 24 states, even if you didn't score 25% in the FCT, you will be you are good to go. But some people in this season think that they can simply hoodwink or lie to Nigerians. They are now making it look like no president can be validly elected until he has won Abuja, or until he has recorded 25% in Abuja. In the FCT. It is ignorance peddling, and it's a very shameful level of ignorance peddling, because the idiocy in the argument is, does it mean that if you won election in 36 states, but failed woefully in FCT,
you won't be
will anybody be able to validly say you are not qualified to be validly elected just because you didn't win a very small portion of our country? Look at the map. See how small Abuja FCT is. So, in the eyes of the law, Abuja is seen, literally speaking, as one of the states. But in the real sense of the word, it's not a state. And that was why they said, and if they saw Abuja as a state, they would have said 37 states. But they said 36 states and the one that is not a state. That's Abuja. This is a very simple thing. Once you have it, if you have 23 25% in 23 states, and you are lucky to have it in Abuja, you are good to go.
Yeah.
That's the way, that is as simple as that.
Kola, you know, the judiciary has intervened in elections in our country over time.
Yeah.
So you can't begrudge Mr. Obi going to court or the PDP doing same. I know the SDP had said they were not interested in going to court here.
Right from from 1999, has there been any election that that has not been contested really? None. However, in our democratization process, there is a need for us to also know that the so-called peace cannot last forever. Democratization to mean entrenching democracy.
The process.
The process itself. So that process, I think, is what people are challenging. I've analyzed this before elsewhere. You start from the 1958, 1959 Electoral Commission of Nigeria that was headed by Edward, the so-called exploiterate. There were complaints, remember, sir?
Yeah.
Of course you remember. Grandpa. Remember. The 1960, also, the FEC, when Kofo Abayomi had to resign before the election. There were complaints, on and on, 93, including the 1978 FEDECO.
Of course, you cannot forget 12 2/3 and all that.
Oh yeah. I think the only one that we didn't complain about, of course, the people didn't have complaint, was the Nekon, the Abacha Nekon.
Yeah.
He was the sole person. And from the beginning of this dispensation, of this republic, since 1999, we've been complaining. And I think we have held terrible elections thus far. What makes this different? It's because we started having some hope that, okay, finally we'll have a very transparent election. And there was this high amount of energy in the public. The people, the youth, wanted to participate to determine their future. And this is not just one item. It's a process. There are different layers. And part of it was the transmission of result, but not the only one. The use of technology as stipulated in the law started from accreditation via your Beavers machine, the voting and all that. That transmission, that in itself does not validate or invalidate election, is the major issue here. Let me come to the bone of contention. I will come to the bone of contention. Let me digress a bit. You see, the posting to the IREV, one, for us to be able to monitor the election. It wasn't going to be the collation ground because, after all, after the voting process at the unit, you will still need to sign the form EC8. Of course, you upload a copy, but you take it to the Ward Collation Center for collation. The collation is still manual. Now, what the job of the IREV is to ensure that the citizens are able to monitor as a result are flowing in. It's not even the center for collation. That we need to understand. However, albeit, that process that brought trust, that process that was going to engender trust in the entire electioneering process was what INEC failed to deliver. And that is the bone of contention. Now, today, we have given room for people to raise different conspiracy theory simply because we failed to deliver that process. And that has nothing to do with any of the candidates. It has everything to do with the institution and those who are managing the institution, INEC. At first, they told us that they had technical glitches. And, well, we don't know why they were unable to resolve that all through. I remember a workshop I attended a week before the election. And after, it was from 9:30 to 6 p.m. or so. And somebody asked a question, a major stakeholder in this process, and asked the question that, what if, because we were to be dealing with all the results real time as they flow into the IRF, that what if on that day the INEC server breaks down and we are not able to access the result? So what is the essence of everything we're doing here?
That's it.
Well, of course,
We said, no, that's not possible. But by now we know that INEC would have a plan B for that. But that failed. So holding INEC responsible for that should be a collective, duty. Why? I think it was Pericles that talked about citizenship. He said we only properly become a man when we become a citizen. That is, when we are able to fight for public interest. So it is in the interest of the public for us to demand that INEC, going forward, should be able to ensure that the rules, the guidelines that is set, they follow. But on the election itself, if, for example, one of the candidates said, I won, there must be proofs. It doesn't matter how much of claims we put in the public space. The question is, are there proofs? If there are proofs, does it mean that what we have at the collation centers were different from what eventually got to the INEC in Abuja and what was uploaded? If that is the case, we should let him go to court. Okay. And at least it will contribute to the democratization process. However, there are two germane things now. The number two, the second position is laying claim to the victory. The third position is laying claim to the victory. I don't know how possible it is that either of them can have it. And it is more difficult for Labour because the two-thirds that they need to have across the country, they didn't have. And we must also understand that the dynamics...
PDP didn't have it.
Oh, okay. See, the dynamics of a national election like ours is beyond the outlook, the outplay, and the dynamics of a particular area. You must have the national spread.
All right. Kuala Njidi, we will play what Peter Obi and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar said vis-a-vis they're going to court. Watch on, please.
Gratitude to the obedient youths, those who believe that a new Nigeria is possible. And I said to them that a new Nigeria is possible. And we'll work for that new Nigeria that is possible. Their resilience, their hard work for a new Nigeria should not be waned. Daddy and I remain committed to that new Nigeria.
I have come to the conclusion that the processes and outcome of the Presidential and National Assembly elections of last Saturday was grossly flawed in every material particular, and as such must be challenged by all of us. I know that Nigerians, especially the youth, are traumatized by the developments. But I want to urge them to conduct themselves peacefully. Like I have done over the years, I assure you that I will commit the rest of my life in ensuring that true democracy, which affirms the supremacy of your votes and your will take firm footing and guarantee a stable, prosperous, and peaceful Nigeria.
All right. Jide, one little fly in the ointment is the fact that Nigerian politicians are seen as bad losers.
Very bad loser. This same article that we just played his tape. Remember what he did when he lost the presidential primaries of the PDP to Goodluck Jonathan. There was nothing he didn't say. Nigerians should do a tie back to what he was saying there, hinting that even running the government could be made difficult. And he lost the election on the day every ballot that went against him, Nigerians saw, because they were counting their ballots on live television. Yeah. But because he didn't go according to his plan, according to his wish, there was nothing he didn't say. Threats, incitement. That is what we are saying now. So it fits into his idiosyncrasies that he will lose and then not be happy about the fact. Yes, it's painful to lose. especially when it looks like your last shake of the dice. It's painful to lose. But this thing is still a game at the end of the day, and you can't all win. It's ridiculous for somebody who came third to be saying that he won and that he will prove it. It's clear that Obi did not win a single Nigerian state dominated by Muslims. Not one. A single Nigerian state dominated by Muslims, Peter Obi did not win. Nobody will be able to win the presidency in our country if his support base is from just a geopolitical area, or religion, his support base is one religion.
Yeah.
Mr. President contested several times. He could not win on all of those occasions because it was a provincial mindset. He could not get the votes from the South. Peter Ayodele was here the other day and was talking like nobody had ever done what Peter Obi did. Of course, Ayodele is not a historian. Peter, in 2011, Buhari recorded more than 12 million votes, about 12 million 200 and something votes.
Yeah.
That is almost double what Peter Obi got this time. In that same year, Buhari won more states than Peter Obi won. He also added 25% in Abuja. And he had only 4 months. The party, he had 4 months. CPC was formed, and in 4 months, Buhari took it to battle, and Buhari won more states than Peter Obi won now, and got almost double. In fact, just a few hundreds, it could have been double the votes that Peter Obi got. So they should stop giving the impression that nobody has ever done what Peter Obi did. To say that is to show that you know little about history. Because all you need to do is go to 2011, you see what happened.
KJ, you know, quickly, in a breath, let's talk about the second leg of the story. Senate President Ahmed Lawan has tasked the INEC. Next Saturday, the governorship elections are here. Do it according to the rule.
No. Perhaps by inference, he is saying that the first was not done according to the rule. I mean, I don't know what will make. What I will make up with that, except he's saying that, ensure this one too follows the rule. Because if he's saying, this time around, make sure this one follows the rule, perhaps he's trying to tell us what we do not know. However, I was going to mention something. At times, we build strong hope without data. The candidate of LP said, one of the things that they will prove in court is the fact that now we have a larger registration, but the votes dwindled. Maybe I should take you through memory lane too. In 1999,
make it brief.
Yeah, very brief. When we had 58 million projected voters, we recorded 30 million votes. That was way more than 60% of thereabout. Now, in 2003, we had 42 million votes out of 61 million. Again, that was way beyond. But look at what happened from 2015. We had 67 million, yet we had 29 million votes. What happened? The moment that we started introducing measures into the system to ensure that votes count, we started having a drop in the number of votes.
Expectedly.
Of course. In 2019, we had 82 million, increase again in the number of voters registration. Yet we still had 29 million total votes. Yeah. Now, this time around, the moment Beavers came, go and check the result of those states that the election came before us. Look at Anambra, look at Edo, look at it. Even look at Delta. Look at Borno that gave Buhari 901,000 or thereabouts in the last election.
Yeah.
They only brought 250,000 for APC this time around.
Their son was there.
Honestly, was right there contesting. So I think that assertion, if they are going to the court with that, that may not stand.
All right.
An unprecedented level of religious politics where some pastors within and outside the country tantalized their members with divine hearsay and prophecies supposedly from God. Let's share some of the comments made by pastors about the elections with you.
God will raise another man out of the southeast whose agitation is after the order of God. The nation will gather around him, not only the southeast. And in that day, a southeasterner will rule Nigeria.
I said, after Buhari, who is the next president who will sit on the seat called the throne of Nigerian Asorob? I will tell you, the name is Yemi Osinbajo. Except when the man says no, but mark my word, he will be offered. The presidential election will be peaceful. Don't be afraid. There will not be killings. Go out and vote. However, so because there is no money to buy vote, he will lose in the polls. But already there is a partnership with a man in the system that will cause the vote to be rigged. So suddenly I saw the numbers dropping, and I saw INEC announcing BAT as the winner. However, follow me. I even saw what he was wearing. He was announced winner, and we will see a video where we do like this. The video will trend. A revolution is coming. A greater than NSAS is coming. People, the doors will be shut. You will not go to work. You will be in your houses. How will this revolution start? Hear me. How will the revolution start? Somehow the information will spill out that the election was rigged, and the youth will get to the street. It won't just be Lagos. It will be almost every state of Nigeria. The youth will get to the street and they will start the protests. These protests will lead to a revolution. Hear me? Peter Obi will go to court. He will go to court. The interim government will not be long. No. The interim government will not be long, and after a while, the court will declare Obi as winner of the election. However, like I told you, it will be rigged, and you hear number 1 is bad, number 2 is Obi, number 3 is Atiku.
You have to look in the spirit. And in the spirit, I saw the first one I mentioned yesterday. And it was a devil, an evil spirit, a wicked spirit that was wearing his face. So in the spirit, the second one, I said, what about him? What about the second one? He said, if you let him get in office, you will have no country. I said, Lord? Who let the second one in office will have no country. He said, you will have no country. Then in the spirit, I saw the third one. He was afraid. He was afraid he might win now. He was afraid of losing. He didn't want to lose, but he was almost scared of winning. I said, Lord? Then he says, pray. I said, God of heaven, give him wings to fly. The third one, his name is in the Bible. Let me finish.
we cancel the Tinubu presidency in Nigeria. We decree from this altar that that result will not stand, that you will raise up a mighty wave of opposition, mighty wave of resistance until that election is cancelled. I decree a revolt in the name of Jesus.
If any man born of a woman brought up by CS become the governor of Akwa Ibom State 2023, and it is not Basi Alba, cut off one of my arms. Cut off one of my arms. I'm the Jeremiah of this nation. Anybody that become a governor 2023 and it's not Basi Alba, cut off one of my arms. For all this evil that is going on, two things will happen. Everyone who takes the money to carry out this wickedness, the wickedness is coming back to them. And the political party sponsoring it, there is a terrible thing that will happen. There's kind of defection that will occur around your party. You will ask me question. My name is Philip Osun. I don't fear any man, no man born of a woman. I'm a messenger of Jehovah El Rahi, the God that sees. I'm the Jeremiah of this nation. I'm waiting for 2023. I can be angry with Basi Albert, but I can never terminate the divine mandate of God. I can never terminate that divine mandate. Come 2023, I said earlier today, I needed this money, he would come. I don't need one kobo from him. 2023, if Basi Albert does not become the governor, Mr. Udom Gabriel governor, Gabriel Emmanuel, His Excellency, our amiable governor, God bless you. If Basi Albert is not the governor 2023, cut off one of my hands, and you will forever fear me anywhere you hear my name. My name is Philip Osun. I am waiting. The war has just begun.
Okay, all this embarrassed the founder of Adoration Ministries in Enugu State, Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka, who said these pastors got it wrong this time for jumping into politics. The outspoken cleric who addressed a large crowd of Christians in an open space knelt before a raised altar with head bowed and asked that the mercy of God descend on church in Nigeria, on the church in Nigeria. Just watch Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka.
I apologize on behalf of the whole men of God, the whole pastors, the whole priests, the whole bishops. I apologize. I'm not worthy to apologize for bishops, but I'm apologizing. Let the mercy of God descend. Because what we did within this political moment, a lot of indescribable political brouhaha and political jingoism and a lot of atrocities we manifested and buried the power of the sacrament beneath political forces, political hawks and vultures. And they want to vulturize the church. And we turned the church into campaign centers. We turned the church into a place for politicking. We messed up the altar. We defiled the altar of the Most High God. How do you want power to move from such altar that have been defiled? We cannot continue with such iniquities. I am Anganiru Nalulo another toa. I am Major Chuku. And I was only about Kuzima de Bagge Bianca. Ebaka Gesimeya. Ebesere Mada Seno Chuku na one amonso. I thought he gutora. I wrote to Chuku Yeze Mando. Or you were Chuku Weda Pasai. You were Chuku Kasokoza. Manam na you bury Chuku. I pray that God will forgive us. Forgive us, O Lord. Forgive us, O Lord. Forgive their church. Forgive your church. Forgive Christianity in Nigeria. We have gotten it wrong this time. Amen. Just let it be like this. If you want to misunderstand it, that is your business. I am apologizing to God to have me.
So today is Sunday. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm a product of Reverend Samuel Akimode in Sadela. I was born and brought up, raised up by men of God, pastors around, pastors, minister of God. Today, you have your own denomination. you're a Christian, and this not in any way to impugn our men of God. But Wale, I believe you're a Christian too.
My father was a pastor in the Anglican church.
Okay, okay. My late father too is a pastor. My mother is still a deaconess. But when we see things that when we were growing up we never experienced happening now, we have, our responsibility is to bring it
to say the truth. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that.
We
It's
don't
not
care if your pastor happened to be part of these people that actually predicted that that person has a Bible name, and predicted one to be a jackal, and predicted that another one is a vampire, qualified everybody at the end of the day.
This is the first phase, because there are still many pastors that we did not feature.
Yes.
This is the first phase.
Yes.
And look, some of the, I can say the church has contributed to heating of the politics. The name calling on the altar, abuse being rained on some political parties is unheard of. Within a church, there will be people who belong to different political parties.
Everybody.
You know, a situation in which
tendencies.
you try to demonize some political parties, that's not the job of the pastor. You are supposed to bring everyone to salvation. I've never seen anything like this, and I'm not surprised that this is the outcome, because a lot of these were not based on somebody's opinion. You're standing before the church and presenting your opinion, said the Lord.
And everybody clap.
Yes, because look at everywhere, almost everywhere, you see people talking about how the pastors got it wrong and all that. Look at the one who said if Albert Bassi, yes, the Senator Albert Bassi on Akwa Ibom does not when they should cut off his hand. I'm sure he must be he must be hiding his hand from being cut, because I don't understand. If you said they should cut off your, and if they get hold of,
to lynch him. Senator Bassi was not announced.
No,
it's not the governor.
It's not the governor.
It's the pastor that
he did not even come second. Look at, was it Pastor Feyi talking about interim government? You can now see why some people are insistent on this interim government, because they had it from their pastor. They had it from their pastor. And he said, Asiwaju, when they call him Asiwaju, then dance buga, so to say. I didn't see him. I stayed awake here on the day that he was announced. I was analyzing here. I didn't see the man raise his shoulder, you know, the way it had been predicted. And
the video with Trent.
Yes, and you can see Pastor Ejike Mbaka, Father Ejike Mbaka, said they buried the power of the sacrament on the altar of politics. He said they turned the church to a campaign ground. Power cannot move from a desecrated altar. He then began to pray to God. I said, forgive your church, O Lord. Forgive Christianity in Nigeria. We have gotten it wrong this time. I think this is also similar to what Reno Omokri said, because that the church took a gamble and it didn't come out in the way that it was envisaged. So I remember reading, I don't usually read it, but I remember seeing a news item in which even Reno was complaining about the role the church played in this whole thing. The pastor said Obi will come second in the race. I don't know, maybe at the end of the court case, Obi will come second. But in the election, against his prediction, Obi didn't come second. Obi came third. So, are they going to bring somebody who came third and make him the winner?
They've started talking about inauguration now. We've left the election now. So that's your God has been talking to you about the inauguration. But come May 29, if Bola Tinubu is inaugurated as the president again, what are you going to say?
No,
there's even a man of God, that one I think is preaching from outside the country. He was talking about how the election should be undone. That God should
council should not stand.
Yes, that should not stand.
And that there should be a wave of violence,
You are
wave
in
of
the US.
opposition.
You are in the US. You are calling for something that will cause instability in the country and everything, and you are a man of God.
I think we should ask ourselves the first question for the benefit of those that are watching us. Are there prophets? Yes. Are there true prophets? Yes. In the Quran, there are 25 prophets are recognized by Muslims. Also in Christianity, there are a lot of wonderful prophets. And then, are there men of God? Oh, yes. Do we have genuine prophets in Nigeria? Absolutely. But I think now we have a situation where majority of those who claim to be prophets are just out to commercialize religion. How do we know? Most of the prophets have come out to be totally off mark.
I mean, God didn't speak to you.
What they just do is to study the society and make some assumptions. Does God speak to people? God speaks to everyone. If you are a good listener, even in your dreams, there are things you will see about the future, and they will happen. So if you can develop yourself spiritually,
talking about Chelsea and Arsenal match,
you know,
I don't even listen to that one again.
The point is that especially the Nigerians, the human mind is so fragile. Don't forget about whether they are professors or doctors. You can easily manipulate. If you grind some charcoal, take it to Oshodi now, say this thing cure COVID, some people will buy. You just need some people to say, oh, I used it yesterday. They will start buying. They are so ignorant. The mind is so fragile that you can easily manipulate it. Because some people even said, even this one you are playing, some said there will be no election.
Yes.
There will be no election.
Yes. That one in Ibadan. Yes, I watched that one.
That's why people kept asking me, did there be election?
And he was saying that if it's God that actually called him,
that there won't be election.
There won't be election.
The role of pastors is not to polarize their church along political lines. You need to, realize that your congregation, there are people who are in PRP, people who are in the APC. So when you now come and start
allow them.
Everybody. It's even an infringement on the rights of individuals. We have seen where religion has made a lot of contribution to human liberation. In Latin America, they call it liberation theology. They deal with the problem of electricity, education. But when you now come to church and then the politicians will visit you, after that you start talking about certain things you have seen in your dream. So you start wondering, some people seems to have collected money and they are just trying to give these prophecies to give false sense of hope to their followers. So I think it's a very dangerous. I know that in US you can't do this. There are laws, code of conduct. You can't come and begin to
they did it under Donald Trump, saying Donald Trump is a Christian, Donald Trump will win his re-election, and they all came back, most of them, they were apologizing to the country. That is what our pastors, they failed to do. Because most of them in America that predicted that Donald Trump was going to come back and everything, they gathered together after the election
to
and
Nigerians.
they apologized to their
these ones will never apologize.
But
Every electoral season, they will come back and tell us lies upon lies. And you see people are now becoming wiser. Because if God has not spoken to you, and you now come and say God has told you this, and God does not lie. If God tells you something, it must come to pass.
Yes.
That's what the God that we know.
You know what someone even said, sorry, so that I don't forget. Someone said, how can a pastor say that he saw Peter Obi winning an election? That God told him that Peter Obi will win the election. And then when it didn't come to pass, you are now saying it's rigging. That's not how God functions. Yeah. Because
anyhow, he must win.
Yes. God,
since God has said
it must come to pass. It must since it's God. If it's the word of God,
change it.
Nothing will change it.
So God will stop through.
We've seen people who rigged and still didn't win election.
Yes.
That their rigging couldn't even help them to win the election.
So it was the rigging that stopped God's
you cannot then
prediction.
Look for an excuse. You can't look for an excuse for God.
Can you imagine?
If it was truly...
So rigging stopped God.
If it was truly... What is rigging to God? What is rigging? That God cannot get above rigging? I mean, what is all this? So don't look for the excuse that, God show you that he will win. what it was rigged. No man can stand before
God
and change God's prophecy. No man.
Some people are even advocating that they stay off. Look for how people will go to the kingdom of God.
That is the best thing.
First and the kingdom of God and His righteousness, or every other thing.
Baba Adeboye was saying something that
God did not show him anything.
Baba Adeboye was saying something that somebody wanted progress. That he now asked the woman, how many souls have you salvaged? Because this is turned a new leaf and began winning souls. She experienced a boom, an improvement in her position. So this is the way God works. We are not pastors, but at the same time, it's embarrassing to see a man claim to be hearing from God, and then in the end, we see that what you said you heard from God did not happen. People will just see them as people just trying to corner people, you know, and that's not what we want to see. Because as a Christian, you can't be happy about it, especially one born and raised in a Christian family.
Yes,
it diminishes you. It diminishes you as a person to see those things happening. What Father Ejike Baka did, I'm not surprised, because if I were in his shoes, I would do the same things, because they've tarred everybody with the same brush. Whereas we know pastors who stayed away from making political declarations.
Kept quiet.
Baba Adeboye never opened his mouth to make political.
God has not told him.
Yes.
You know, and he kept quiet.
He kept quiet.
And God might have shown him something, but he was just looking.
Now you can see Baba Adeboye. I remember in 1997, my sister went to the camp, and Baba said, some seemingly immovable mountains will be moved this year. He said it. And one immovable mountain was moved that year by way of the death of someone. And Nigeria moved on. So I just heard Baba say this. That's the level of trust that people have for him, because it's not someone who will just simply say something. No, that's not his time. And God does not speak to people routinely.
Yes.
That is the mistake. You make it look like, look at some of the funny prophets that we are seeing now, who even want to prophesy every day. On newspaper pages you see them. No, that's not how God works. That's not how God works. Everything you want, you have turned your opinion.
Your opinion, you
now call it the opinion of God.
La Liga, the winner of La Liga, the winner of Man U,
cursing. You start cursing a member of the congregation that decide to vote against your own wish. You see some of them on video. Say if you you must go out and vote.
One even said you will flog. You will flog.
It's quite embarrassing.
No one even said if you vote for so party, you are going to be the one to suffer for 8 years. That me, I'm comfortable. I will not.
It's their money that he used to make himself comfortable.
You know, I'm comfortable.
It's their tithe and offering.
You will suffer for 8 years. Go and vote for that party.
It's their tithe. If anybody too can be comfortable, if they are paying tithe to you, they are paying offering to you.
I've told you.
You know,
vote for this party.
If you are a father in Israel, people are coming to you, they are giving you gift, and why won't you be comfortable? You will be comfortable. So
you made predictions here, almost 98% correct. And you didn't say God is
coming from God.
I can't say I'm not.
I wouldn't even ascribe this to God. You just look at this, your training, your experience, and everything. You just put it together. Yes.
How many weeks do I even go to church? You know, how many weeks do I even have time to go to church? But one makes prediction and it comes true. Some people would think, are you a fool? How did you come to the conclusion? This is an APC state, you know? Some of my friends called me when I said both Sokoto and Kebbi, PDP will win in the presidential election. Some of my friends were very angry. They called me and said, why, who told you? It did not happen. Both states were won by Atiku. Those friends have not called me since then. You see the way they fought me. Now, what are you talking about? No, and you will see that we are going to win. APC will win. I said, the only thing that I think will happen is what I will say. It's not about you harassing me.
And some states, you didn't talk about it. We didn't see it coming.
Yes.
Because we are not God.
No.
We didn't see the defeat of Bola Tinubu in the presidential election in Lagos.
How would
they have presented that?
Anybody that I spoke with, because I do plenty of research. Anybody, even if that person was drunk, he will not tell me that.
This Lagos will go down.
We never saw it coming. It's as simple as that.
Simple.
And by the time they came with serious mobilization for the next election, we saw that the tide changed, and they won by a hefty margin. In fact, if you add the votes of the person who came second to Sanwo-Olu, if you add it to the person who came third,
together,
and then you now multiply it by 2, Sanwo-Olu will still win the election. That's to tell you that the margin was hefty.
Both Gbadebo, Roosevelt, and Jandor
add their votes
together
and multiply by 2. Sanwo-Olu, who scored more than 700,000, will still win. So this is the value of working harder, mobilizing harder. Yes, there was violence, but according to INEC record, 84 polling stations.
Yes.
The whole of Lagos. And Lagos had more than 13,000 polling units. So,
and for you to use that same brush to paint the whole...
Yes, as if everywhere...
It's not up to 1%.
It's not up to 1%, the real sense of the word. No, so... but we don't want to see even that level. We don't want to see it anywhere, whether it is in one place. We want to see elections where everybody can go and vote. That is what we desire to see. So that people don't think that we tolerate violence. No, we don't tolerate it. I said it on Your View. I said, we don't want that kind of violence. Let people go and vote.
You will being suppressed.
Yes, if you work hard, if you mobilize sufficiently, you will still win the election. So don't harass people.
Our Father in the Lord, please, we respect you. We love and respect you. Stay out of politics. Just stay out of it.
For your own good.
Stay out of these predictions and everything. Because another Bola Tinubu, they will make you a laughing stock.
That's not what we want to see.
If it has been destined, it has been destined. There's nothing you can do about it. If you fast with your church members, do everything. If God is with somebody.
No, if God is what God wants, that's what will prevail. And let's genuinely hear from God. If you've not genuinely heard from God, don't come and tell us that God said. If it was during the Old Testament era, during the, when you talk like that,
immediately
instantly,
something will happen.
Judgment.
Yes, now it doesn't wait.
Look at, I think it was these people now who put money together.
To Ananias and Sapphira.
Yes, they saw the job. It's their money.
It's their own money.
It's their money. Let's forget.
They have to
out of it.
Yes, New Testament. They have to go and
they
have to bring.
It's their money. It's not as if he stole. He just didn't declare
100%.
100%.
Died.
He edited part of the money and then he paid.
Don't lie to the Holy Spirit.
Even when God sent a prophet to King Hezekiah, he went to him privately and said, "Look, this is what God has told you." He didn't call a press conference. He just went privately to him. And you are going to die. And the man, okay, he started paying. Before the prophet left,
yes, I don't have a successor.
God told him again, yes, look, we will live for 15 years. He didn't call the whole town to say this man is going to die. Sometimes it's private affair. You don't need to make.
Some have commercialized prophecy. You commercialize prophecy. That's why every day you see them coming out to say, this is what will happen. This is what.
Outcome of the 2023 presidential election is still being disputed, but not by all parties involved. The national chairman of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Shehu Gabam, said the party will not challenge the outcome in courts. Gabam said the party stands by the laws that establish the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and acknowledged that it is the only institution that conducts an election and declare results. As such, INEC has declared Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner of the election. SDP saying that.
Honestly, I look forward to less litigations. Less litigation.
First of all, let's look at the stake of the SDP.
No.
The
SDP actually said that the SDP acknowledged that the election was not perfect. But I read a statement, acknowledged that the election was not perfect. I think all of us, I don't think, even INEC knows that the election wasn't perfect. But the SDP said that it agreed that APC had emerged as the winner. The SDP said it was only going to contest the legislative, some of the legislative victories that others won, because it believed that some of his candidates were rigged out or something like that. So SDP, of course, SDP knows that it was not a strong contender for the presidential position. It was never one of the three strong parties. However, that is SDP's choice. I mean, if it would be very ridiculous and very ridiculous, risible for SDP to say it's going to contest against the result of the election. However, we can't fault people who decided to go to the courts. What we are against are the rhetorics that people are pushing, approbating and reprobating. You've gone to the courts. Everybody knows you've gone to the court. That's the right thing to do. That's the decent thing to do in a civilized society. Nobody can fault Labour Party or the PDP for going to the courts. Even if we don't agree with their arguments, even if we don't agree with their viewpoints, it's our opinion. But we cannot say that it is wrong for them to go to the court. What we find very, very, very upsetting, sorely upsetting, are the rhetorics by some of them, or people who say that, who make incendiary comments that are capable of overheating the polity, comments that are capable of inviting that anarchy to the country. If you've gone to the court, let the system work. And that is what the sanest, most reasonable people are saying. INEC is the only institution empowered to declare winners of elections. It's not me, it's not Yuayo, it's not Dati, it's not Obi, it's not Tinubu, it's none other than INEC. It's not the presidency. So, the only way you can invalidate or you can impeach the decision of the INEC is through the court. That is the only other institution that is empowered by the law to say, INEC, you are wrong and INEC will be wrong. So, SDP is fine. That's SDP's opinion, and it's fine. SDP does not even have any stake. It cannot even dare to say that it wants to contest the outcome of the election. Those who feel they won, who are convinced they won, have gone to the courts. So we'll see how that pans out.
Gary.
In a situation where you have somebody who came third in a race asking to be declared the winner, you cannot conveniently say SDP does not have a stake. I think they have a very strong stake, the Nigerian way. They could have also gone to court to add to the litigations. I'm impressed by what SDP has decided to do, and I think it is exemplary. There is no political party who goes into any election, be it councillorship, governorship, or presidential, with the intention of losing. The candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Adewale, went all over the country campaigning. Adewale, he campaigned more than some of the people we are actually calling frontliner. And a very sound and intelligent individual. I met him thrice during his campaign. And I must tell you, here is somebody who also has great intentions.
Capable.
And why one would not want to blow his trumpets for him, I think he contested that election. He contested that election believing that he was going to win. I met him once or twice, and you need to see his optimism. He believed very strongly that he was running on the platform of a very popular political party. And you must give it to his enthusiasm. He ran the race very, very certain that he was going to do well. But it's an election. There will be winners and there will be losers. And what he is simply doing alongside his party is telling you, look, when we lose elections, it must not always end in litigation. He's trying to set this example that there are people who look after the election.
I think they want some seats in the national.
I'm coming to that.
No,
they have 2 Senate seats. That's more than some other parties who paraded. 2 Senate seats and about 4 rep seats, and they have a handful of assembly seats.
That's strong.
2 Senate. In fact, in Nasarawa State, they want 2 seats. They want their 2 seats in Nasarawa State, not central. And they are from the southwest. So that's to tell you that it is not a party without stake. It's a party with stake in the incoming administration. Their 2 senators are going to be very, very instrumental should the opposition decide to rock the boat in any of the 2 houses. Their 2 senators and House of Reps member are going to play certain roles. So I think we should applaud the SDP for showing that example that with their decision, they have reduced the number of litigations, the number of time that will have been wasted, the number of resources, the number of judges that will have been stressed, and all that. There are 18 political parties in Nigeria that participated in the presidency. I saw one party that I'm sure did not get up to 2,000 votes, also in court, challenging the presidential election.
I think at the end of the Supreme Court will consolidate.
I think they are going to consolidate, but if there are 9 cases, it will take more time to consolidate than 3 cases.
I have yet to see any presidential candidate that will not express some kind of optimism that they will win. Yes, but that still doesn't mean that they should not be realistic after losing the election. As far as I'm concerned, what SDP has done is being realistic.
And that's something we should applaud.
Yeah.
Being realistic.
No, I agree.
Yes. We have a first caller.
I agree.
Unju is calling us from Nasarawa State.
Yes, Oga Ayo, good afternoon, sir. Happy Easter, sir.
Thank you.
And,
go ahead, please.
Dale, is it Dale? Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
And the other person. Dale, you are looking young, these days, every day. What is it, sir?
Thank you very much.
My name is Hundu. My name is Hundu. I'm calling from Nasarawa State, local government.
Okay.
Yes, you see, what you have said is correct because the 2 SDP people that won, in Nasarawa State here, and unfortunately, they were members of the APC, but there was disagreement that pushed them to SDP.
That means they're very popular.
They have been contesting under APC. Yes, they have been very popular. It was as a result of disagreement that made them to go to SDP, and they have won. And that shows that the people actually knew who they were. But one thing here is that I'm finding it difficult to believe that politicians, when they lose any election, lawyers will keep pushing them to go to court so that they can keep smiling to the bank, even when they know the truth. Because I was on ground, and I know that Tinubu did very well. And I'm surprised that some people will not accept that this man has won the election, and they are saying, that is not the sole in. And they are saying many type of things. And I've been saying is that if they conduct this election again, Tinubu will still win. Because like the person that comes third, Labour Party is not popular in many states that I know. Labour Party is not on ground in many states. So how do you intend to win? And lastly, Ayo, one thing is that Labour Party and PDP, they did not get the mandatory 25% in 25 states. Go and check it. They did not get. So how can you declare them the winner? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. And when we are looking at it and you want to say that, if this politicians are very, very optimistic.
They are very optimistic. I think also some of them, their optimism is just grandstanding, to say the truth. There are people who I believe just came out to contest so that it can be in their political CV that they were once presidential candidates. There are people like that.
When I saw the results, when I saw the results, because it took me days to analyze the presidential election results, and when I saw it, and I now looked at a man called Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso.
Yeah.
The way Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso came into the presidential race, he was meant to form an alliance with Peter Obi, but that did not work. But when the result came out, the reality became so clear that this is a man that was in charge of just Kano State. He held on to Kano State and
delivered it to himself.
It's so reverberating from the National Assembly down to the State House of Assembly, and he was able to win the governorship.
Ayo, if you recall.
But any other states, I did not see the presence.
Ayo, if you recall, before the election, I said it here that I was talking about NNPP. I was asking that who was the face, the big face of NNPP in the Southwest? Who was the big face of the NNPP in the South-South? Who was the big face of the NNPP in several other regions? Apart from Kano or Northwest, Jigawa, where it is very strong.
And they did
now,
well. They did well.
They did well.
They did well.
I personally, I might be wrong, but I personally think...
For Taraba, it was the candidate. He was in the APC. They had issues. He left for... and he was able to...
I personally think that the NNPP knew that was not going to win this election.
Of course.
I think that Rabi Kwankwaso had his own agenda, which he had achieved with Kano. Rabi Kwankwaso was going to prove a point with Kano.
I feel that just to get back at Ganduje.
Exactly.
We may be wrong to say he's getting back. He's a politician. He was losing grip of his stronghold, and he needed to get it back. Look, NNPP would never have won Kano if Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was not contesting the presidency. In 2019, they tried the same thing. He was in PDP. He was not a presidential candidate. They went into run-off, almost won, but they never did. There was need for the galvanization. There was need to galvanize Kano for him. This person running for governorship is me. The same person.
Yes.
This is me. Vote for, and he had to be on the ballot. So under the guise of I am running for president, he went everywhere in Kano with the NPP candidate.
Even Senator
Shekarau, who declined,
he had 400 and something thousand votes.
He won the election in absentia. Before the court gave it to Hanga. He won. Kano Central. That's almost
like a governorship result.
Yes, that's what we are winning governorship with in other states. So what I'm trying to say is NNPP scale, and that's why you've not had NNPP saying he's going to call for presidential. What they've said is that they are still studying
they achieved
and they know they are not interested in contesting the presidency. They wanted the governorship of Kano. The National Assembly members that will come from Kano, the House of Assembly in Kano. Kwankwaso wanted to return as the political godfather of that state. He was from 1999. Only shaken once, 2023, when Shekarau defeated him, stopped his second-term ambition. He was dislodged. Shekarau was in charge for 8 years. But Kwankwaso, being the politician he is, was able to
stage
a comeback, win his second term, install a successor in Ganduje, the current governor, who eventually did him in again, pushed him aside. And from 2015, he's been struggling to reclaim the state. And he must have fantastic strategists added to himself, because the only way Kano will have gone his way is for him to be on the ballot. Exactly. And that's what he did. And it worked perfectly well. So watch out for somebody like Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. He's a politician, and I know him very well. I can place a bet that he is not going to prove too difficult with the NNPP. He's going to go into a merger very soon. Just write it down. He knows that that party will not fly outside his own immediate environment of Kano, Jigawa. So he will do the needful.
One of the hallmarks of good governance is bipartisanship in taking decisions. The governor of Ekiti State, Abiodun Oyebanji, is towing this line. Now, Governor Ibanji visited the former governor of the state, Segun Oni, urging him to return to the All Progressive Congress, APC, where he was the deputy national chairman before he left. The governor said his visit is in fulfillment of his pledge to personally call and visit Oni, who he described as a brother and a leader. I think after the election, Oni went to court. Ibanji tried to reaching out to all the stakeholders and people that he contested against and the big people in Ekiti State. So maybe he waited for this time not to say that might preempt the outcome of the court judgment. So they've gone through the tribunal, they've gone through the Court of Appeal, then they've got to the Supreme Court, and the court has ruled in favor of Governor Ibanji. Now is the time to come together and build the state. And Segun Oni, being the former deputy national chairman of the APC, having a very close relationship with even the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I think this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, and I think Governor Ibanji is showing that he will keep his word. I remember attending one of his campaign programs in Ekiti, where he made a promise that the election for him is not do or die. And when he wins, he will personally invite all his co-contestants into his to support and participate as much as they can in his administration. And I think he started that almost immediately he was sworn in. And this current move is a step in the right direction. Knowing fully well that Segun Oni is a former governor of the state. And if you take a look at Ekiti, Segun Oni is almost the only person that is not already in the team as a former governor. Because with his support for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu all along and his current standings, that look, the man won the election and he should be sworn in and should be allowed to rule. He's already showing that he's not averse to the ruling party. Adebayo is in APC, is the current minister. Then immediate past Governor Fayemi is in APC. So if Ibanji can get Segun Oni to also return home as it is, it will give his government sound footing, reduce the pressure
not necessarily returning home, but working with him.
With him. But he was explicit about return to APC. He told him, you are our leader. We know you. Come home. And if you look at where Segun Oni is standing, currently SDP, many people will tell you, insofar he's not in PDP, he's closer home. So bring this structure back. Let's run the state together. Is the message Segun Oni took to, Ibanji took to Segun Oni. And it's a step, like I said, in the very right direction.
I think that message is clear about let's develop something inside here. And before Ekorimadu went abroad, I have it in good authority that there's some hospitals, medical facilities in Nigeria that can conduct operations like that.
It's done here several.
Yes.
It's a lesson. It's a lesson, and it's just all about this distrust of things that are our own. If at that level he doesn't have faith in
at
the
that level,
facilities, at that level. So will you blame me or Chris if we decide to go to India?
Exactly. At that level, we feel like they can't do anything. But he has forgotten that he's been a leader for a long time. And it's not for me. I don't want to strike, but I think I'm sure he's regretting most of his action right now.
Okay. Tony, going back to Ekiti State now, what Governor Ibanji is trying to do?
Yes, I think, for me, I salute the governor. I salute him for dropping his ego, for his courage. He's been in Nigeria for a long time now, so we know how this thing works. Before you say governor going to beg, he didn't win. Every time he winner takes all. So for him to say, okay, I think.
For that fact that the Supreme Court has spoken.
This case, there's no case in court. Going to say, please, work with me. That is how Nigeria is supposed to be. You win election, try and look at, I mean, you've won. Reach out to people. Because for me, you still need them. They are part and parcel of that state or the country. Reach out to them and say, please, the election is over now. Those mistakes we encountered during the election, just bring them. Let's see if we can work on them and get this country working or get this state working. So that's why I said I salute, and they are very rare. They are very rare. Just look around the country and tell me a governor can do that. What's it? We've won. So if you like, and just go do whatever you like. I'm the governor at the moment. If a state must succeed, you need every hand on deck, both the losers and winners. And that's why I doff my heart for the governor of Ekiti State for this. And I pray a lot of them. I wish they take a cue from him. Shagoni has been governor for Ekiti State. You know, he was, I think, a one-time governor. And he's a gentleman. I mean, I see the two of them. I see two gentlemen coming on board. I think I've met Shagoni, I've met him, and I've interacted with him. And I think he's a core gentleman to the core. So, he's a gentleman to the core. And I pray he listens to what Governor Biordi Oyebanji is talking about, is saying, and come in and see how they can put Ekiti, you know. I think Ekiti first before anything. The election is over. I mean, for me, first thing is I salute his courage, and I doff my heart for him.
Hi guys, I am Kehinde Bankole. Come with me as I take you to the homes of some lovely DSTV customers to find out what they enjoy watching during the holiday season. Who hides the remote control? I mean, what's the show you like watching over and over?
There's actually a show called Slum King.
So good to see you! Such a beautiful home.
I learned on home makeover, on how to make your home look beautiful, modern.
Do you cook? I actually love cooking jollof rice.
I cook.
I help them eat it. We usually do movies together. Usually Mnet,
Dragon's Den, and Chopped.
We love watching Family Feud.
I love UFC.
Guys, this Olawa Shibi too.
Teen Titans, go!
Indomie love bowls, right?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Who's your favorite artist?
Burna Boy.
Thames.
who will help you, not go stress you.
So football.
Erling Haaland, he's my baby.
What if their team loses?
I'll be the referee that day.
The whole family will become mood.
Camera off, light off, show.
No matter your holiday preference, there's always something to bring you and your loved ones together on DSTV.
The Jiwa Kingdom in the Federal Capital Territory has communities in close proximity within Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. 3 of these communities, namely Angwan Kanu, Kudagba and Jiwa Soho, are now to be displaced by the construction of a second runway at the airport. In October, the federal government was officially handed the affected communities' land, measuring 12,000 hectares, so the construction can begin. At that ceremony, the aviation authorities assured the locals of due compensation alongside the provision of infrastructure. The contractors were also advised to ensure the community members are engaged as laborers.
We have already concluded plans to put so many projects for the Jiwa community in the 2024 budget. A health center is coming to the Jiwa community. I think a bridge also, one of the most sought after bridge, and the roads.